Good morning, YouTube. How you guys doing today? I've been really, like I said, I got on YouTube to do something, So, I'll be talking about a few things, but right now I'm really looking at a lot of people, going through their videos and seeing who is being deceptive out here and who is possibly just not really understanding everything that's going on, but they want to share at least what they know and they think they got it figured out or whatever. And I'm actually cool with that, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, if I would have been doing YouTube videos 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do them with the type of information that I can give you guys today. And I feel confident that I'm at that level, to where I'm not leading nobody down no bad roads. Especially when it comes to God, because that's where I see a lot of just people don't get it. Like I said, the guys that speak, the guys that can read and understand, even the old original text, that don't even have to go to the King James, and then any of the study books that are out there that'll help you, with the translations into the original languages and stuff, because that's where a lot of confusion comes into. You're taking three very complex languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, and translating all three of them into a simple language, English language. But yeah, I've been just doing some research. I'll tell you, I got that I was looking at there's some people out there saying Russian vids debunked, and I haven't seen nothing in any of his videos. You know what I'm saying? You know, Let me just say, any of the stuff the guys have said, about him, just didn't really hold no merit. For me anyway. I got certain tolerances for certain things. Like I said, if there's people out there profiting off of their channels, this is America. It takes money to live. So like I said, as long as they're not doing it in a bad way, like what I don't like is like, from Richie from Boston, when he says he's a Christian, but you got to watch, so long of a ad he's profiting off of, this satanic ad, and it's like, that's one thing I know for sure with God, that I knew why the churches, none of them were any good, because God says you cannot mix the two. It's one or the other. So when you go to a church and there's a satanic symbols in there, and you try to point it out and they try to justify it some way, it doesn't work that way. God says no. You can't mix the two. You're going to have to make the decision, the one or the other. I was just watching this new guy video I just come across, so far, I've only watched 2 of his videos. He was kind of calling out Richie from Boston too, and I liked what he had to say, so far, and he said that, other than work, I really make it a point, once you know these symbols, you don't let them be on your body or in your house, or, because not only does it say something, could possibly say something about who you are, knowing that symbol is what it is, and you still keeping it around you. When you have stuff like that in your house, this is, you got, people. I didn't want to go here right away, but we're gonna start talking about demonic possession. That's real, very real. I got firsthand experience with that shit. I'm telling you. No joke. And we're gonna, and I want to go into just exposing, a lot of these people, just for the guys out here that do have, the few that I see that do have a little left in them, the discernment, might not get caught up in their shit. Like I said, I've seen Russian vids, someone said something about, he profits off of selling this and selling that. Well, whatever, He ain't selling alcohol, I hope, He ain't selling dope, making money off pornography or whatever. If he's not doing stuff like that, I guess I really don't care, Like I said, this is America. As long as the transaction is a clean transaction, both parties agree to the terms of the transaction, what is the problem, I guess? Now, I've been talking, I made a comment to the moderator on Richie from Boston's page. And evidently, he's not really friends with Richie from Boston from the way he's talking, He didn't talk too highly of the guy, from what I'm saying. And I guess he's a moderator of a few different pages, too. I haven't looked at his page yet. But, everything so far with him, don't get me wrong, I'm not dumb, he could be just part of the agent, okay, we see that this guy is, the claims that he's bringing against Richie from Boston holds merit, you know what I'm saying? So let's see if we can, befriend him or whatever. Whatever, my reputation's crystal clear, you know what I'm saying? You do what you feel like you need to do. There's nothing that you can do that can affect me, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing you could do is, take the channel down or something like that, and I don't think they're worried about that. But I like this other guy that he said he's like, even if these guys that got a large subscription ain't a shill, or whatever, but they're just a dumb motherfucker spreading false truth, a little bit of truth, a little bit of lie, whatever, because they don't even know. He's like, they don't care about that. He's like, they care about the guys that got low subscriptions, because they understand that are really speaking the truth, because those are the people that are really exposing these fucking guys and getting the real truth out, But there's a lot of them out there, I can tell you right now, most of the Christian sites you want to stay away from, Like I said, once you get so deep into the scripture and have the real understanding of what it is, that's when you're going to really be able to pick out people, especially when the people that want to claim God, that's easy for me. Now, it's the people that don't talk, like I said, Russian Vince, he'll mention God. He don't talk about God a lot, so he doesn't put nothing there that would expose him as, as far as a false doctrine, Richie from Boston does that. He kills himself all the time with that, Like he said, go check out this pastor. He's the real deal. And I went and looked, like I said, 5-10 minutes into the video, he was already, biblical errors, saying that Mary is up into heaven and stuff. And like I said, the Bible does not say nowhere that we go to heaven until after Jesus Christ comes back and we all face judgment. Everybody from Adam to the last man, except for Enoch, Moses, and Elijah. God took them up to heaven. So yeah, you go to these churches and, that's, what do, man? Oh, your loved ones are looking down on you. Go on Facebook and see the people talk about God, man. It just blows my mind, man. And it's the same thing with a flat earther telling a baller, You tell them any biblical truth, man, and they will turn on you and get into their, herd and hive mentality. And then, like I said, you always got the genius, so you're going to have the biblical genius that comes out of the hive too, Dumber than a box of rocks, matrix, they get these high matrix IQs and think they know something. Or they'll be an expert in a field, and because they're an expert in a particular field, they think that they know something, Once you start reading like I said, you guys better check out Roy Masters, and you got to start understanding this human behavior and stuff. You can really just see people, how they're behaving, who they really are, like, I love, and you get these, I wish I wish I had, a little bit better knowledge on, making videos, because I do some, like some stereotype videos and shit, some cop stereotype, you always got the boss, the guy, the prick boss that treats all the employees like shit because he's the boss, because at home he's the bitch, People are just so, like I said, man, you know what they're going to say before they say it themselves, because everything's been so scripted for them, and all you got to do is go back to where you were at, what were you taught? You know what they're going to say, And look how they got everybody. Like I said, that shit starts out in grade school, where they get you. The first thing you do is you got to find different groups that you fit in. And well, what do? They do that when you become adults too, You got all the sports fans out here, you got the different groups, man. Bikers, gangbangers, yuppies. You got all the same shit since school, man, where it was all taught to you, Everybody's so divided, I always make the joke, like I said, man, you get so divided. Me and my brother, we'd go down south. Dad would take us down south to visit his family in Tennessee, man, and that's the first thing we did was split that back car seat in half. Said, don't cross my side, right? And then you see all the people at the protests and shit. It's just really sad, that they're that fucked up in the head and so far gone that they're willing to go there. Like I said, it's a bad situation all around. You got the protesters wanting to fuck each other up. You got the cops wanting to fuck everybody up. It's fucked up, right? You got the shit going on in the news right now, with Russia say we're not playing games with y'all. Any of your planes flying over Syria to us is going to be considered. We're watching your aircraft right now. And who knows? I was just so naive back in the day. I learned a lot of stuff with like I said, I've been involved in different shit. The constitutionalists, Which all that's good, they're really tightening the grip, all that's going to go away too. Those guys that are, fighting the, there's still stuff. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you all are in any type of mortgage, you need to look into that. Take while you can still do some of this stuff through the court systems. Take the mortgage company and the bank to court for fraud under the RICO Act. It's usury. They frauded you when you signed your name on that paper. And that's the one thing that they don't want to show up into the courthouse is that original paperwork with your signature on it, because it'll show on there, that's the original one. It'll have a record of it, how it's been monetized, And that's what they'll do, Like I say, they try to drag the court cases out so that paper don't come up, And, they'll bring copies in there, and, you got to say, no, I want the original with my wet ink signature on it. I don't want no copies of anything, Copy don't mean nothing. That's why you always sign in blue. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever sign in black. You always sign in blue. But, I've seen guys do it, you know what I'm saying? I've seen them do other things too, discharge the debt, run up $100,000 in credit card debt and then discharge it, because there is no money to pay for it in the first place, just debt. You're not responsible for it. The government, HJR 192, the government said that they're the ones that are responsible for it, you know. And then you got other ways too. I don't know what the success. I haven't talked to some of these guys in a while, man. But you know, they were looking at ways, you know, to use the birth certificate because it is a bond, $1 million bond, to use that, you know, to pay off your debt. You know, you get debt, you know, you discharge it, you know, take it off the birth certificate. You know, I don't know you shit. Yeah, that was, you know, I had really gotten my hopes up when I got with them guys. You know, I started learning all this shit, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so, you know, I'm about to tear these motherfuckers down. You know, once I start showing people about this type of stuff, it's just gonna snowball. You know, nobody wants to pay tickets, nobody wants a driver's license, nobody wants to pay taxes. You know, when they realize that everything they ever done in their life, they volunteered themselves with their own signatures to it. You know, they're not gonna want to do it no more. Nope, totally backfired on me. You know, why can't you just, well, you know, it ended up becoming, you know, how it's the group, you know, the constitutionalists, you know, the common law people, or the sovereigns, or the freemen, you know, they give all these, start giving these labels to them. So once you give a label to something, you know, now you can slander it, you know, discredit it, do whatever you want, you know. And that's what everybody said. Oh, those are those people that think that they can do whatever they want, that they don't have to follow the rules and they don't have to pay like everybody else. You know, that's how fucked up people are, man. It's like, you know, you got this guy dragging this fucking heavy ball with a chain around, and you're running around, you know what I'm saying, bouncing around without one, and you got these big ass bolt cutters that say, here, dude, let me teach you how to use them. No, what are you doing running around here without a ball on you and a chain? That's how fucked up they are, right? You guys see it, you know. Yeah, what are you running around without a ball and a chain, motherfucker? You think you don't have to fucking be a slave like me? Dude, do you see that I'm running around here? You know, the police are still around here, you know. The guys that are following you around, which are in making sure that chain don't break, they see me too running around here without one. Why don't you just let me show you how to use these bolt cutters? No. And they'll run to the master every time. Every time. And then want them to figure out some way that they can find that they can punish you for running around without the ball and chain. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think people are really realizing how messed up it is out here. Like I said, you know, when I first read, Roy Masters, he's the one, you know, he said that, you know, most Americans are criminally insane. I didn't get it, you know what I'm saying? I still didn't get it because I still didn't have that understanding of human behavior yet. And the whole psychological aspect of it, and how, you know, the different ways that they use to fuck up the brain, you know. And then, you know, just things that I've learned over the years. Like I said, everything, you know, all this knowledge now, everything that you learn from now on, everything should complement itself, you know. Like I said, I was studying back in the day in the beginning. I needed to know how to defeat my enemy, you know. I studied everything about warfare, especially guerrilla warfare, you know. How a small opposition takes out the larger opposition. And, like I said, that's one of the main rules in guerrilla warfare. You do not take action while you're angry, because you're not in a clear state of mind. And like I said, man, that makes sense now that I've learned how they work and human behavior understanding. That's why they keep the subconscious in a constant state of fear, hate, and anger, because now a person can't even think clearly and process information clearly, and you know, they're in a state where their emotions control their emotions override common sense and logic. That's their whole goal. to get a person's state of mind to where their emotions override common sense and logic. And I'm talking elementary logic, the basic logic. Logic monkeys have. Alright, you guys, I'm going to cut it short here, I guess. I really didn't want to make long videos because I don't know. I just go on my cell phone. I don't go on my computer like that much onto the YouTube. And I don't know how much, if you guys even watch all my videos or if you just, watch a little bit of it or whatnot. I just want anybody to know I do watch all videos, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing. Because I need to know, if anybody's saying anything that I don't like, It might be the last, 10 seconds of a video where somebody might drop that fucking thing where you just don't want to deal with them no more, Or if you really think that they're that guy that maybe they just said something they don't realize they weren't know what they were talking about, that maybe you can say something to them, And that's the difference. If I see someone on here that I really like and they say something, I'm just going to make a suggestion. You know what I'm saying? That, hey, man, you might want to rethink what you said. Don't take my word for it, but just look into what I'm saying. But no, guys like Richie from Boston, that dude, he's bad, man. These guys are real dangerous that are just leading these large numbers of people, And then you never know how many of the people, like I said, Richie from Boston, his shit jumped overnight, within a couple of weeks his subscriptions doubled, 55 to 95,000 people. I'm going to dig a little bit more into Russian vids, like I said, I've been talking to Richie from Boston's moderator, because I said something. He said, has there been any problems, any complaints? And I said, and he was talking to Richie from Boston, and I said, yeah, man, I got a complaint. Are you here? Are you the moderator why don't you start moderating his dumb ass, or are you just there to moderate people like me that are calling him out? And he ended up sending me a message, and he said he started watching some of my videos, and he's like, man, he's like, I really like, your videos, you know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I don't even know Richie from Boston like that. He's like, I'm just a moderator, I'm a moderator for actually, several pages, and, I get what you're saying about him, man. Some shit just don't add up with him, especially with the whole Christian aspect of it. And, like I said, I don't care. If the guy wants to sell t-shirts, man, I hope that's something. I'm not a hater, you know what I'm saying? I hope people can make a lot of money as long as they're doing it in a fair way, Now, how he profits off of those ads, those satanic ads, I'm not cool with that, man. That's a clear indication that he's not a Christian, A real Christian, that understands the scriptures, knows that you can't profit off of stuff like this, There's a scripture, when Jesus, the guy that was possessed by the many demons, Legion, and Jesus cast them out into the herd of pigs, and the herd of pigs went and jumped off the cliff and to their death. And everybody was pissed at Jesus because he had done that, because the pigs had jumped off the cliff. You know why they were mad? And you know why Jesus did it? They were mad because they were raising them pigs to sell them. So Jesus did it, as a lesson. No, you cannot raise unclean animals to sell for profit. This is a forbidden. I told you, God said don't even touch that animal, let alone eat it and raise it and sell it for profit. So, when the scriptures go deep, there's a lot in there, that people just don't understand because they're not studying it in a way it needs to be studied and getting the understanding that it comes with it, so. All right, we're going to cut it short here. You guys have a wonderful day.